Hey guys, good morning from Bali. So today guys, I'm not gonna go for a walk. I'm not gonna show you guys around because there is few videos coming up from Bali. Obviously, I'm still here. I have, I don't know, maybe 20 more days left, which I'm going to explore different part of Bali, film as much as I could, and hopefully you guys like it. But just I want to tell you guys about my experience for past 3 years of traveling in Southeast Asia. So I'm traveling in Southeast Asia for past 3 years, but obviously I'm in YouTube for over 1 year. I then felt when I left Canada. But one thing that I gotta tell you guys, there is something called hype. Usually people following this hype a lot, especially what I find in tourism, like what I mean by that, sometimes you see a lot of people going to one location because of the vibe, because people says, for example, the waterfall somewhere is so nice, so everybody going there. But that's not the reality, guys. For example, I believe, based on my experience, I've been to Bali so many times. In the beginning, I was just extending my visa for 2 months. I stayed in Bali a lot. So if you are a new subscriber to my channel, and if you're watching my new videos, like my recent videos, if you go back to the playlist, you can see it. I have some video in Bali, not too many, but I have few. That time I wasn't so-called YouTuber. But my point is, guys, hype. What I mean by hype? If you go and research Toronto or Canada real estate, Canadian real estate, especially Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, for past 10 years, it was living with the hype of investing in condominium. Everybody was buying a condominium, everybody. When you used to tell anybody that I'm in real estate business, whatever that you do in real estate, mortgage, I don't know, flipping property, construction, civil engineer, selling real estate, whatever. Everybody had same question, like, where should I buy condominium? Condominium. Because it was a hype. But if you go right now and search real estate in Canada, nobody cannot sell condominium. Every single project is cancelled because for developer, it just doesn't make sense to build them because nobody buying it. And a lot of people, they want to get rid of the contract because usually you had to sign the contract, and it was a lot of drama, and like most of the right was for a developer, nothing for the consumer. So people used to buy. Everybody was buying condominium. People buying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like people was going nuts. Now, nobody buying a condominium. So this is a hype, guys. I believe some of the destination in Southeast Asia is completely a vibe. One of them, Bali. Bali is just a vibe. Bunch of broken people, mostly from European countries, mostly young people, less than 4 years old, most of them pretending that they doing something online. These days, everybody after COVID, I'm doing something online. And if you do some research, I believe 1% of them, they're telling the truth. 99% of them is just a hype. Because if you come to Bali, guys, most good-looking guys, most beautiful girls in Bali. When you're walking at the beach, when you're going somewhere, it's just mind-blowing. Most of the guys is just less than 4 years old, all six-pack, all good-looking, but all broken, mentally and financially. Like you can see it, most of the girls are gorgeous, but if you go sit in the cafe, if you go to the bar, if you go anywhere, if you can see it, these people is just mentally broken, financially broken, just pretending to have that nice life, to drive nice bike and living somewhere in Canggu if you are into the party, or Ubud. So between all these people that, you know, like here and doing seriously something online is probably limited. Number two, I was in Bali last year. If you come right now, you're going to be shocked. There is absolutely, I was staying in Canggu a lot, and I'm sure if you following my channel for a while, you know I walk around. So when you walk in, it's completely different when you're absorbing stuff than driving. Because if you have a motorbike, you're going. Because I walk, I see stuff that so many people cannot see. Here, it's just developing everywhere, guys. You cannot find any empty places now anymore. Everywhere is just developing. It's just a gas house, hotel, restaurant, spa, all good looking stuff. I was here in this area that this hotel, this gas house located, guys. Last year, it was another hotel that, if you don't believe me, go to my content and take a look at it, guys. This place, it was under construction. Now it's completely finished. You see that, guys? It's completely finished. So this place wasn't here last year. So there's a small swimming pool, and you see there's a development just in front of us. And there is another development behind the door, behind the walls, guys. So what I mean by that, this area that I came, guys, only one brand new guest house was green something that I stayed there for 1 week. None of this hotel was here, none of this guest house, none. But I believe now more than 10, 20 of them. A lot of brand new villas, a lot of beautiful villas now next to me. This is the villas that is 1 bedroom or 2 bedroom or whatever. Do you guys see that there's enough lights? Can you guys see me enough? Okay, let me move myself like this. So now there is a lot of villas next to me. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom with this small swimming pool. Beautiful, beautiful. Like I walked to one of them and it was like mind blowing, guys. But my point is, this is a vibe. This is the people that, a lot of people coming to invest here. A lot of these guest houses is just the money from overseas, but it's completely overbuilt. It's just like, sometimes you're passing by so many cafe and restaurant, these beautiful, beautiful. It's just like, I'm telling you guys, new. You walk in front of the spa or this, I don't know, nailing salon or fantasy hair salon or whatever, empty, empty. There's a lot of tourists here, but because it's overbuilt, you don't see people. You understand? So what I mean by that is just, although Bali is just absolutely overrated to me, and it's just so many people now here, but it just, everything is overbuilt. Everywhere is a gym, because there's a lot of young people coming and all of them want to fit. Everywhere is a gym. So when you're passing by front of gigantic building that is a gym, so somebody paying for this rent and electricity and the water and the security and the staff. So I don't know where this money coming from, and I don't get it. But there is a lot of tourists here, guys. Mostly young people. Mostly it's just living with the hype. So there is, I believe, like 30, 35 huge beach club here. But I don't know, it's overbuilt. I wish them all the best, but I think there is something wrong. It just, okay, let me see if there's enough lighting again. Okay. I have a problem with the lighting in this. So let me see if I can change my, I want you guys to see enough. Wow, okay. Let me see if I put it like here. Yeah, the lighting is now fixed, I hope. So what I mean by, guys, like this, hype, it just drives people somewhere. But that doesn't mean, you know, that's the right things to do, or there is not enough lighting, and so let me see, where can I put my camera so you guys can see me clearly, man. Yeah, so this is the situation, guys. This is the situation with the vibe. So is it worth it? Be honest with you, to me it's just overrated. Absolutely overrated. So it's just like, I don't have nothing in common here. The other day I went to the beach club, mostly 4 years old, less than 4 years old, between 20 to 40 years old. So just coming here to jumping up and down. It's just like nobody talking to each other. End of the night, definitely there's a fight, definitely. Because people are drinking too much. Sorry guys, I'm just keep moving this camera because I want you guys to see me clearly. So end of the night is going to be fight because over drinking, and it's just like you're looking at the people. These people are just mostly living here, but it's just mentally broken. It's just like in this guest house, guys, there's a 26 room, and a lot of them living here for a long time or staying here for 1 or 2 months, but you don't see nobody. You don't see nobody. Like it just, at the night, usually you see people smashing their door after like 10, 11 o'clock, because mostly, I don't know what they do in their room, so-called working online. At night going out. So this is a life here. Another hand, so let's talk about Thailand. I will just share my experience about Thailand. Thailand is over. I believe tourism is going to be really even go less than 2025 because there's a few issues in Thailand. Number one, price gone up so much, and Thai people got so greedy. They treat people, this is a standard things in Southeast Asia, that they treat people like an ATM machine. They think our money doesn't have value, but in Thailand it got crazy. So I'm traveling in Thailand for past 3 years, and I asked so many people that traveling in Thailand for past 20 years, 15 years, everybody says the same thing. They said, yeah, we feel that people are not friendly anymore. There is no smile. Just they want to scam you, they want to grab your money. And I want to talk about the fake vibe about Thailand. A lot of people going to Thailand because they think, oh, for the woman, you know, I'm going to date, I'm going to find a girlfriend. I'm sick of my girlfriend of mentality of European or North American because they demand too much. Let me tell you the truth. I'm not the bar guy, I'm not the club guy, but I have enough intelligence and I come across enough women in Thailand. If you think you're going to find somebody in Thailand, you are absolutely out of your mind. 99.9999999% is transactional. Even if you have a girlfriend, it's just a transactional. Because that's a culture of Thailand. You know, like if you date, you need to pay. So maybe some of your angry old white men that you're going to watch this video and insult me that, oh, buddy, everybody pays for the woman. Yes. Maybe your experience and with a lot of other people's experience is different. Yes, end of the day, usually in any relationship, men pays more. But I dated a lot of decent girls in Canada, you know, a lot of them, that sometimes I'm going back and I'm thinking, oh, I really messed up some of them, you know, like I didn't make the right decision, you know, maybe I had a kid now, maybe I was with that girl. Decent girls, doctor, you know, good job. I had all kind of girlfriends. Be honest with you, yes, end of the day, I believe I spent more money in the restaurant. I paid more for so many other things, but it was a relationship. It was a fucking relationship. She didn't need my money. She didn't ask for money. She wasn't prostitute. She wasn't bar girl. She wasn't fooling me and then send me to somewhere out of the country and act, Oh, I need the money for my phone. I need money for this. I need money. These people getting fooled, and these old people or whatever, old, young, I don't know. These girls fooling everybody in Thailand. So this is not the relationship. If you think this is a relationship and you're going to insult me back, hey buddy, everybody pays for the woman somehow. You are an ugly, old, fat man that you never had a right relationship. So you think that you have to pay. This is the mentality of Thailand. But I believe that's changing too, because last time that I was in Thailand, I said that most of the girls is gone, because I guess that everybody figured it out. Now, if you go watch the Pattaya news, every day there's a fight between Indians and prostitutes, because now there's nobody left in Thailand. So who is left? Bunch of Indians that come into Pattaya or so many other parts of Southeast Asia for sex tourism. Because I believe all these men that's single walking around, yeah, I mean single, maybe, I believe a lot of them, they're not single, but they're walking around in beach road or whatever, and you see like they're grown-up men, 40, 50, because in Indian culture, they have to get married very fast. So it is not like other Western culture that say they don't get involved with their kids. In Indian culture, they get involved in the boys and girls business that they have to get married. So if you see 40 years old, 35 years old, or 50 years old man that's walking on the beach road and talking to these girls, these people are married, they have kids, they have family, but they come there for prostitution. I totally believe that. And why there's so many clubs and so many men, single men that walk in group and hand to hand, and most of the Indians even holding their hand each other in beach road, they're going for prostitution. That's a sex tourism. So what I find in Thailand treating normal tourists really bad, and the reason is I believe they really getting greedy. So all they want money. It just, to them, it's just money now. So that's why I believe the service level gone down, the attitude in Thailand gone down, the price gone up so much that it's just not affordable anymore. Exchange rate sucks. So I believe Thailand, pretty much tourism is gone. I believe when you're changing so much direction of the country, it's just something wrong. Because if you change the visa rule, if you change this, if you change that so much, you're trying to grab everything. But when you're grabbing things, you're going to miss the right things. So I believe the Thailand situation is like that. Vietnam. I have a really good experience in Vietnam and bad experience. So the good experience in Vietnam is going to be a next problem like Thailand or Bali and so on and so forth. And the reason is everybody going to Vietnam now. But Vietnam culture is completely different than Thai culture. For example, in Vietnam, most of them very straightforward, and another problem is the communication, because in Thailand, most of the people, they have basic English, but in Vietnam, no. Sometimes zero, zilch, nada, absolutely nothing. Is it in Vietnam foreigners like an ATM machine? Yes. Is it a scam there too? Yes. If the woman, 99%, not 99%, that's different. Really, I want to give you right information. Is it like, I believe like 70% of them, if they want to get involved with their foreigners or business, especially online and so on and so forth, yes. Do you have a chance to find the normal girlfriend in Vietnam more than Thailand? Absolutely. Your chance is much, much higher, because I find Vietnamese girls are very straightforward, and also they are very, very driving individual. Like they have a job, they want to grow. It's just not like Thailand. I find out most Thai girls are so lazy. They want to just free money. And like, I believe like somebody is, if he's struggling in Isan, her friends, says, hey, why are you struggling in Isan? Why are you working so hard in the restaurant and not making money? Come, if you're good looking, come to Pattaya and you're gonna make money. So when they see the easy life, they get lazy. Like if you have some, so-called those people that they think they find a girlfriend in the bar and they're gonna go back to their country and send them money, so make them lazy. But in Vietnam, it's not like that. Most of the people, like most of the girls, they don't drink, or I didn't see them like that. They are more into the exercise, and they are more, like I find them, they are more civilized, in aspect of, they want to grow, they study, they have a job. So your chances to find a decent girlfriend in Vietnam is just much, much more. Bali. First time when I came to Bali, I dated few girls. Second time that I came, dated few girls. And I had a really good experience with them, really good experience. Even one of the girl, I hope I find her too, she took me everywhere here with the motorbike, to the nice waterfall and so on and so forth. She had a job, she didn't need nothing, absolutely. Even when I was offering her to pay for a gas, like she was telling me, like, why are you doing that? Because she was driving me like 2 hours, and I know what kind of salary these people have. I was saying, no, you're driving me, seriously, like, come on, let me help, like, for her, like, it's okay, like, I can pay. You don't need to, pay for my gas. So, but as a gentleman, I never ever do that, because I know like what kind of salary she has. She was working in spa, like she was a management position, but like, come on, like for her is some kind of money. First of all, she's driving me there, like obviously I have to buy lunch, dinner as a gentleman, like I totally understand. But she never, like she was a decent individual. I had few dates like this. I had one like that. I had another girl, she was working in construction business, in administration aspect, and she was renting villa. I had another girl that she was a chef here in very luxurious villa. It was like 5 villa, I believe, and the owner was Russian, and she was a chef. So this villa, it was really expensive villa. That time she was telling me every night is like, nightly rate is 1,500. This is talking about 2 years ago. But she showed me the picture. It was like, holy macaroni. It was like 3 bedroom, 2 bedroom. She said like we have a mix of different villas that is next to each other. So she was a chef there. So she was preparing a breakfast, lunch, and dinner for people. Because sometimes she was telling me like, I'm gonna finish 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then she was coming to see me. She was the only chef, and they had a cleaning staff and so on and so forth. And she said she has a helper, server and whatever. Like she said, like we have to prepare any meal that these people want. So it was like one of those very high end. So this is the people that the normal job, they never ever ask for anything. So, but this time that I came to Bali, guys, like every match that I have is pretty much 99% is working girls online. So pretty much are freelancers or prostitutes. So I believe the whole face of Southeast Asia changed like anywhere else. Last time when I went to Canada, guys, it was a culture shock for me. Okay, Canada is a multicultural country, so people came from everywhere. So we have an Iranian area, we have a Russian area, we have a Chinese area, we have an Indian area. But when I arrived to the airport, every single individual from security, from any position that you can imagine in airport, it was Indian. When I was talking to people, like everybody says Indian taking over the Canada. Like people say we're sick of Indians now because Indians are everywhere. Because used to be only Brampton. It was an area called Brampton. But now everybody says everywhere. Even when I was in downtown Toronto or Etobicoke, everywhere was Indian. When I went to get my driver license, guys, I need to do my renewal. When I was online, and thanks to my good friend Arta, she took me on Friday because I thought only between 9 to 5, but it was 1 or 2 locations. We call it Service Canada. So this is the place that you go for the renewal. So they take your new picture and yada, 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 and they give you a piece of paper. So that's your driver's license for 2 weeks, and then they send you the card. So, and my good friend Arta, she said, no, there's few location now because there's so many immigrant now. Everybody wants driver's license, health card, or whatever. In my time, 3 years ago, it was 9 to 5 kind of job, 9 to 5 kind of hours. But now some of them, because there's so much demand that like whole country, like whole world now in Canada. So now probably there is a huge demand. So then now opening between, I don't know, 9 to 8 some of the locations. So my good friend took me to one of these locations. She knew that. So when I went to online, guys, it was a very fast process. It wasn't really long, but at least took me like 45 minutes, I believe. Every single individual, I came back to, I told Arta, every single individual online, like front of me, probably it was maybe 30 people, give and take. And in Service Canada, you can do a lot of things, you know, like plate for your car, health card, driver license, you do all these things. So it's just not people coming for driver license, for other reason too. I swear, 99.9% was Indian. 99.9%. So I know the whole world is changing. There is so many immigrants moving around, and I believe that's a very wrong decision, because when I went to Canada, it was a whole different ball game. It wasn't like this. Seriously, it wasn't like that. You had an opportunity, you had to be a right person. Now everybody's a crime in Canada, people shooting. We never had a gun, we never had a shooting. People used to leave the door open, but now the whole Canada sucks. When you're walking on the street, you don't realize this is a Canada. This is the country that I grew up most of my life. I left back home Iran when I was a kid. All my memory, everything, it was in Canada. But now, last time when I went there, it was changing. Changing really, it's like, it was sad to me. Like, what happened to this country? I believe this is happening in so many places. I talked to in the airport when I was flying next to the couple from Australia, and they say Australia is turning to the shithole. Like people from United States, I have a lot of friends for past 3 years that I'm traveling. People sick of US. I have a lot of friends that traveling from Germany. Everybody says Germany is a shithole. So you see, the whole world is changing. Southeast Asia is like that too, so that's normal. But if you think you came to Bali 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and you had a good time and you want to come back, oh, it's going to be a culture shock, my friend. It's going to be a culture shock. If you are one of those individuals that are traveling in Thailand and you heard, or you had that experience, I'm sure you had, everybody says that. People smiling, nice people, friendly people, helpful people. Hell no. People, they don't want to talk to tourists. There is a war between local people with the tourists. I truly saw that. People are extremely lazy. Like tuk-tuk drivers like this. You ask questions. Sir, are you going there? Looking at you. No. I'm saying, okay, I'll wait for other people to come, because I know, you know, this tuk-tuk for sometimes take you from A to B. So you wait, you sit there, they want to fill up the tuk-tuk. They're looking at you. You want to take it alone? I'm saying, no, sir, why would I do that? I don't have time, I have time, I can wait. 500 baht, 500 baht. The only time that they want to talk to you, they want to give you some fucking ridiculous price that is just mind-blowing. This is, for example, in somewhere like Phuket or Pattaya. If you go to the island, I used to love Koh Samui, Koh Phangan. These places are full of a scam, overpriced to hell. Because a lot of dirty money, a lot of extra money come into these places that local getting schmuck, you know, local want to grab more money, lazy. The taxi driver, like sometimes it's mind-blowing to me. Most of the taxi drivers standing somewhere, there is 10 of them. They don't want to work, they don't want to drive you, but just waiting to scam somebody. It's just like, to me, it was really strange. Because, for example, if you grew up in Canada, like, people find a way to compete with somebody else. Like, if you have a business, you trying to compete with another business, right way. I'm not saying bad competition, but people working harder, reducing their price, their quality of service going up, they're doing something much, much better and better and better to beat other businesses. So this is a right competition, like you're trying to harder, you're giving better service, you're reducing your price as much as you could to win people. But no. In Southeast Asia, it's not like that. People getting more lazy, just they want a free money. So this is what I find. So, and another things, for example, Cambodia. I went to Cambodia. Like, it is good to see, but there is not much to do in Cambodia. It's just like not really developed. For example, Siem Reap, to me, is much, much better than capital because it was more safer. But overall, in Cambodia, there's not much to do, guys. Like, few temple, you go, you see, and done. There's nothing else. But in Siem Reap, I had a really good experience, guys. People are friendly, but although there's a scam going on everywhere. I remember I was drinking one beer from the supermarket, and one girl from Netherlands, she came and she was sitting next to me. And it was a big, I guess, hostel front of the supermarket. So I saw she open up the beer, can of beer, and she was looking behind that part that you're removing. And she got the free beer because it was some sort of advertising from that, beer company, that when you open up the can, it was giving you some sort of reward. And I believe the reward, it was only free beer or some kind of discount. That's all. And she said to me, "Oh, did you know that?" I said, No. It seems to me she got the free beer. And she said, "Oh, take a look at yours, take a look at yours." And I didn't know that. And then I looked at mine, nothing. So, and I was buying the same beer because I don't remember what was it, but I was buying the same thing because I heard that's the best one. So I was opening, and sometimes I was getting lucky, free beer or the discount. Nobody was accepting it. You see, like in Cambodia, nobody. You used to go to the supermarket, they say, "No, we don't accept it." I said, "Well, this is the way, like, who's going to accept this? Because I bought it from here." And most of the people, they don't want to accept it. So, like, that was very strange to me because, like, you got the free beer or some sort of discount, but they don't want to accept it. That's the only negative things that I saw in Cambodia, but I didn't spend too much time in Cambodia. But I'm sure there's more scam and more things that you can go through. Safety in Siem Reap, it wasn't bad. I didn't come across anything, but in the capital, yes. I believe I saw a lot of shotgun, a lot of store with the guns and everything else. Now let's move to the Philippines. Philippines is an unsafe place. Completely unsafe and absolutely ignorant people. I believe because they speak English and they act like, first of all, they are very racist. I find that Filipinos are very racist because I had a really good experience with Filipinos in Canada because most of them hardworking and everything. But at the time I was dating one pharmacist, and my girlfriend was a pharmacist that time. And she was working with some of the assistants that from Philippines. And it seems to me, another pharmacist from another company that she had to do a lot of transaction. It was a retirement house. And I guess that retirement house had a pharmacist that she was working full-time there, and she was Filipino. And she had to deal with my girlfriend from another company. She always complaining about Filipinos. Like, I was thinking, really? Like, why? Because they're very nice, very kind, very hardworking, you know, they're not complaining. And she always complained, my girlfriend always, and she was from Caribbean. So she always was complaining. She was saying, no, 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 no. They are very, very bad people. They are very, very. And I was thinking, like, come on, like, seriously? But when I went to Philippines, I find out they are extremely racist. They are very ignorant, and they are really, really hate somehow Westerners. Like, they are very aggressive. I come across really aggression there. So, and unsafe. Philippines is completely unsafe and absolutely overpriced. Like, if you go to Philippines, it's just a mind blowing. First of all, I said that before. Some people says no, there's a Filipino food. I couldn't find any Filipino food. I don't know what is the Filipino food is. I didn't see any restaurant that says local Filipino food. Like, you can go, for example, in here in Thailand, in Vietnam, in Cambodia, you go, you find a local food. But in Philippines, I couldn't see it. Nothing. Yes, you see some shitholes that's selling on the street and eating with the hand. Yeah, I want to eat that. You want to eat that. I saw some of those places, you know, but that's not the restaurant. That's just the local people. But people eating chicken and rice, fried chicken and just a bland rice. Most of the restaurant, McDonald's, I know, pizza, you know, the things that you see in Western countries is there. So it's just like, what is this? There is anything called Filipino food, Filipino cuisine? I couldn't find it. I couldn't. I find all kind of food, but I couldn't find Filipinos. It's not safe, absolutely not safe. If you go to Philippines, it's a culture shock. Any supermarket, any cafe, any hotel. In Manila, you see somebody with the gun. You go to the bank to use your card to withdraw money. There's two guys with a shotgun, you know, shotgun. It's just not joking around. So it's not safe. I didn't like it. I find it very ignorant. I find it very expensive. And be honest with you, sometimes I feel to have KFC, sometimes I feel to have McDonald's, sometimes I feel to have a Domino's pizza. But when you go into the country and you're looking at everything and say, what the fuck is going on here? All fast food. They just like, to me, it was like, I was sick of eating KFC or chicken and rice. There's nothing else. Fried chicken and rice. That's it, nothing else. And overpriced and ignorant. Let me tell you guys, I went to Boracay. This was one of my experiences. It was crazy. Usually when I book the hotel, I book under two individual. I don't choose one room, one individual. I choose one room, two. Although I travel alone, but always I have two, because sometimes if you want to bring somebody and if they look at it, one, they want to charge you extra. And another secret is, if you book one room under two, sometimes the price is lower. So always remember that. One room, two, regardless if you are alone, choose two people, price is lower. Because that's a standard default program on all the booking sites. So usually when you're changing it, means you changing the whole price. So it's affecting you negative way, because if you choose one room, one individual, the price goes up. One room, two individual, always better. So what happened was, yeah, I went to Boracay. So the guy says, we don't have a king room or whatever, and they speak English, they're ignorant, act like who you are, you know, like, and he gave me a room, twin bed, and I said, okay, no problem, who cares? So the next day, the cleaning staff, when they came, they removed the cover and the pillow from another bed. So one bed had a pillow and the cover, but the next one they remove it. So what you're going to see is in the Philippine nightmare. Even in Boracay, like, it was an airport that it was unbelievable. I didn't know if this is an airport, guys. So teeny tiny that it just like doesn't look like an airport. People was waiting outside because there's no enough space to wait inside the airport. So this is one of the most beautiful airport in Philippines, Boracay. If you see that airport is a culture shock because the bunch of restaurant in front of it. And I saw all these restaurants are full. So I was thinking like, what is happening here? And then when I went inside, I find that there's no space to wait. So people are staying outside, waiting there for flight to go inside. So, and it just, this much of a space is just good for good to walk, good to get the hotel. But the rest of the area of Boracay is just a nightmare, unsafe nightmare. And people are extremely rude. Like, if the, like, I was walking one point, you know, it was raining. So this truck was coming and passing by and throwing all this street water at you. So they don't slow down. They don't have no respect for nothing. So Philippines was like one of those nightmares for me that I said before, I will never ever visit back. I bought a slice of pizza in the mall. I believe in Canada. I went recently. I saw a lot of people complaining about cost of living, but the price, it was to me is pretty much same. Even some of them stuff went down, except restaurant prices. It was ridiculously high. But I believe a slice of pizza in Canada now you can buy it for $4 or $5. But in Manila, in some mall, I had a slice of pizza that was a shit. I believe I paid $7. So you understand what I'm saying, guys? The price is just like a US dollar, but the quality and everything is just not for me anymore. I won't go to Philippines. So that's my opinion. And most of the girls there too, like if you are in Manila or whatever, everybody says the Filipino girls are friendly and you have more chance. I had one. She was in the beginning good, but after a few days, like she was demanding, let's go to this bar, let's go to that bar, and this is the bar that you go in, out, $200-300. And I find out, yeah, in the beginning she was good, but after that the demand is changed. Okay, she wasn't prostitute. She came to Manila to get the visa to go to Germany to work. And she was very young. She was, I guess, 21 years old. But after a few days, I find out, you know, she has a like really special demand of, you know, to this bar and that bar and this restaurant, that restaurant, so on and so forth. So pretty much relationship is just, you have to be very lucky to find the right individual here. It's just like, otherwise they treat you like an ATM machine. Already I break down the point that I have. You are in good relationship, you spend more money, you feel good because you are in relationship. You know, you do one thing and your date does one thing for you too. But this girl is looking at you as an ATM machine. That's not for me. Maybe for some of you guys, you know, you don't mind. This is the way that you think is supposed to be. Okay, good. Not for me. To me, this is like a prostitution. There's no difference. You know, like you go to prostitute says, give me this much money. And this kid's doing the same thing, but it's just different ways. It ends up same shit. So it is not for me. So maybe for some of you guys is okay, but not for me. So that's why I don't usually, you know, even I feel like sometimes I interview people when I match in Bumble or Tinder for like 20-30 minutes. You know, like from the 1,000 match, maybe I'll go out with one of them because that's who I am. I don't mind to take somebody in good restaurant, but if I have that feelings that this individual doing this for a business, you know, I'm done. You know, I cannot handle that. It is not my personality. It just doesn't work for me. Anyways, guys, so this is a Philippine. What else? Malaysia. Malaysia is a Muslim country, guys. I've been to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, and I went to Langkawi Island. So Langkawi Island is nice, to be honest with you, nice beach, but in the evening, most of them local people, one Muslim, you know, like I saw a lot of European girls with the bikini, but you know, you see like 10 girls with the bikini and the rest of the people are really Muslim, you know, covered top to bottom and sitting at the beach. So it just like, to me, it was nice to see, but am I gonna go back there? Absolutely nothing. No. And Kuala Lumpur, okay, nice, you know, good for shopping. Like if you want to go to the mall and find a nice shopping, like a Thailand, you know, big malls and whatever, there's a lot of them in Kuala Lumpur. But One thing that I find in Malaysia, people not friendly whatsoever, absolutely whatsoever. So it's just like you cannot seriously like see somebody smiling at you or nothing, absolute nothing. Like it is very unfriendly city to me. Even I come across very young guy in the subway, in metro. We call it subway in Canada, but I believe everywhere they call it metro. So I come across one Persian guy, Iranian guy. He was a very young guy. He was going to school there, university. He was like 21, 22. So I was asking for an address. He said, "Are you Iranian?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Oh, me too. I'm living here. I'm going to school and yada, yada, yada." So I said, "How's your experience?" He said, "I cannot wait to finish my school and leave. This is one of the worst country that I ever been and whatever." He wasn't happy whatsoever. And I felt that, it's nice building, nice everything, but it's just unfriendly, very unfriendly country. I haven't been to Singapore because it's overpriced. I won't go to Singapore. Uh, Korea, South Korea, I got really bad feelings about South Korea because I see, first of all, I come across a lot of people from South Korea in Canada. I believe South Koreans are extremely ignorant and racist. That's what I saw about them. And they are very racist about other culture and religion. I'm not religion whatsoever. Like somebody says, Muslim people like this, I don't care. I don't really care. I'm not religion. So nobody cannot hurt me because I'm born Muslim or whatever. Absolutely not, because I'm not religion. But I find that South Korean people are very racist in that aspect. And I find that here they are very ignorant. So I come across a lot of them. I saw the same attitude in Canada here too. So I'm not interested to go to South Korea. But probably I'm going to try to see Japan. Because, everybody talking about Japan. So far I didn't go to Japan because of the cost of everything. But maybe I can manage to stay for 1 or 2 weeks, somewhere. I really want to see Japan. But this is the whole my experience about Southeast Asia, guys. So there is not much option left in Southeast Asia pretty much. Maybe for some of the people that staying in Thailand long term, paying very low amount of money for rent, maybe enjoyable for them, but for tourists, staying in Thailand is just a nightmare, seriously nightmare, because if you're living in Thailand and, probably is different than being a tourist in Thailand. So I was thinking to share my experience. This is a very long video, 47 minutes, but this is my experience for past 3 years. One thing that I gotta tell you guys, do not believe the hype. Do not go anywhere with the hype. Hype is people that, that's a people that come in and change, like influencers, that some of the country paying for it. For example, in Turkey, now Turkish government pays a lot of big YouTuber influencer to go back to Turkey and show the food and everything else. But to me, Turkey is one of the worst country on earth, most expensive country on earth, and you're going to get scammed from the moment that you arrive until the day that you leave. You're gonna get scammed. Your stuff is they're going to steal your stuff in the hotel, on the street. People losing their passport because these people stealing Western countries' passport and then changing the picture and sending people illegally out. So in Turkey, million things gonna happen to you. One of the worst place that you can go. But now I see a lot of YouTubers, a lot of influencers going to Turkey because nobody wants to go to Turkey, but these people getting paid from the government of Turkey to advertise. So don't believe the hype, seriously. Probably there's really limited places left on earth that you can really travel and enjoy. Maybe I couldn't find it yet, but there is probably somewhere out there that is underrated, but just you have to search and find it. I was thinking to go in South America, but just a safety issue. I really don't want to go through that, especially holding the camera there is just not the right things to do. So it's not going to work for me because I'm a so-called YouTuber, so I want to hold my camera freely and go and film. In South America, probably they're going to, do something to you. It's just not safe. So for that reason, there's only limited option left pretty much on earth, really limited. The whole world is just changing, but it's not changing right way, it's just changing bad ways. So I hope you guys like this video. It's very long, but I'm just sharing my experience. Cheers, and see you guys in the next video, guys. Bye bye.